Hi everyone, I'm Megan Lee, and my lighting sucks. What the? I need to get blackout curtains. Okay, I'm sorry. This is the Noob Reviews. We are talking about indie comics. Well, we're going to review one exceptionally wonderful indie comic, and I'm going to give you a little sneak preview of what is coming up on Sunday. I can't with this lighting. I can't. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So, this indie comic is called War Party. This is issue 3. If you haven't caught my last 2 Wednesday episodes, where I reviewed issues 1 and 2 of War Party, so go back and watch that if you'd like to know. And these are, I'm quite enjoying these. This is our story thus far. It is based on the 7 Years' War. When the French and the British were fighting over occupation of America, etc., and everything involved in that. It has a really great, the front and back cover are all one. Fantastic picture. I love it. The art is wonderful. So it is, this is written by, so the story, pencils, inks, and letters are by Justin Murphy, who signed all 3 copies. All 3 issues, sorry. And then who helped? Jay Brown did colors. So they have this really nice, they always give a really nice overview of everything that's happened thus far, and I love that. So I'm just going to read that for you guys. And then if that's enough for you, you don't have to go back and watch my previous videos. So, War Party. After pursuing young Sarah's abductors, James is defeated in a violent contest with Rotag and left for dead. Sarah is once again taken further north to be sold to the French. Diane reaches James as he is near death and brings him to her encampment. When John and Joseph find brother James missing, they assume he has been taken by Rotag and are soon captured by the British and sent to the fort to face a court-martial for desertion. Meanwhile, James is transformed into his beast totem after Diane convinces her father to allow the ritual, and in repayment for saving her life when he was a boy. John and Joseph plan an escape with 2 other prisoners named Thomas and Bastien, but they find themselves trapped between the French and the British. James comes to their rescue while in his beast form, making a way for their escape, but not before he is captured by the British. So, James is trying to find his daughter. He and his brothers desert while trying to find his daughter. His brothers are captured by the British. James is injured by one Indian party, taken in by the other, transformed into beast form, saves his brothers, but has recaptured himself. So, we're finally, in this issue, going to get some of the backstory of how he and Diane met. And also, a glimpse into why this comic book is probably super popular, at least with the men's, maybe the lesbians. Because Diane is a beautiful creature. Let's just be honest there. Alrighty. So, we're back in the Ohio wilderness in 1736, and James is hunting with his father and his brothers, and they are chasing after a very strange deer. And they're tracking her. And it's interesting. Her animal transformation, her animal totem is, not to be mean or rude, but I don't know much about furries, but I know enough to, and I could be wrong, people that know more than me, but that's what I think of when I see her. 'Cause his totem is this beast, monstrous beast, right? And hers is very, very different. So anyway, sorry, kind of off topic, but I don't know, it's weird. Almost hypersexualized, if that makes sense. I don't know. Not to make this weird, but I just made this weird, and I'm so sorry. But anyways, that's just, yeah. So, James tracks her, and he faces her down, and he is actually unable to shoot her because he realizes that she is not actually an animal. There's something more to her. He can't really understand it. So he hides that fact. One of his brothers finds out about it, and they have shot her, actually, so she's been wounded, but he leaves her at the waterfall, and they go back home, and then he sneaks out again at night to find her. And this is what he sees. Again, you'll see why. I'm sure lots of people enjoy this. Like, she's beautiful, but that's quite the scene. So he's being a bit of a peeping Tom. She knows that he's watching, and because he has spared her life, she explains to him what he is. Like a shapeshifter is what he calls it, and he tells her, well, he's of Celtic heritage, and his people were also able to shapeshift. So it's not super weird to him. And because she is a shaman, a medicine woman, she kind of had insight into that already when she met him. And so she basically awakens his beast totem, beast form inside of him, and tells him that his is a wolf. And what she was out doing before he found her was trying to bring peace between her tribe and another tribe. But the only way for peace to be brought was for her to marry the head chieftain of that other tribe's son, and she didn't want to marry him, so she refused. And actually that head chieftain's son is Rotag. Keep that in mind. Well, Rotag has been like, I don't want to call him evil, but he's been the Indian on the other side of things, right? He has stolen Sarah and is going to sell her to the French. So she doesn't want to marry Rotag, and so she's trying to head back to her tribe to tell them she's refused marriage and that this tribe is going to wage war on them. And it's going to be a very bloody war. And so she tells James all of this, and he says, well, I want to come help you fight. And what she does is change him into his beast form to help fight off the other tribe of Indians. And we come back and we realize we have just seen in his memories, when we are back in the present, where he's been captured by the British, and he's being basically whipped to death by the British. He's probably not going to survive. And our dear little, this Indian lad, what is his name? This young Indian lad, that's what they call him. It starts with a T. I'm so bad with names. And no one has names. Megan, you're horrible. Me. Tarlo. His name is Tarlo. So he's this young Indian boy who is got the British convinced that he's with them, but he's got the French convinced that he works for them, and he's basically a double agent. And he sneaks Diane in to see James before he is hung for treason and performs her little ritual. And they don't understand what ritual she's performing. They just think it's some ritual before his death, right? But what she does is turn him into his beast form of a wolf. And he basically goes Berserker and destroys basically all of them, starts destroying the fort, and in their attempt to kill him, they destroy the fort as well. It gets set on fire, they shoot off cannons, it's just insane. The whole fort gets destroyed, and their coward of a leader, the colonel, just runs off. Because he's a freaking coward. So yeah. Look how big he is compared to all of them. Like, he's literally the height of 2 to 3 men when he's in his wolf form. It's crazy. And that's kind of like the front page scene. It's a very long battle. All night long. He's battling them. Look at this. It's like the fire can't even touch him. And they're like throwing chains at him, trying to chain him down. I love this art. So cool. Ugh. It's like impaling them on the jeepers. They fire a cannon at him. Before the cannon can hit him, he just chucks the cannon away. It's crazy. Fire and cannon and death. Oh my gosh, this part. There's this guy he's chasing after, and this guy is like, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of, and he's like praying as James has his hand on his face, and then James says death and just crushes his skull in. This is so not for kids. It's very brutal at times, like Berserker is. Yeah. So the colonel runs off, and we're just left with a completely destroyed British fort. Everybody runs away. And interestingly, the first time this story that we know, when she turns him into a beast, when he saves his brothers as they're caught between the French and British, they didn't show her bringing him back to human form. They just showed him, like, the next morning, he's butt naked next to a wolf skin. But in this issue, she actually has to come up and help him transform back into a human. So I don't know if she did that in the first issue, or if this was just a special circumstance. I'm not really sure. But then this was so cool, and it totally explains the next upcoming issues that I was showing you. This picture on the handbook, like of all these creatures. Okay, this scene explains it all. I'm so excited, but I have to wait till September. Okay. So, missing the pages. Yes, so his brothers come up, James's brothers come up to him, and they have seen him, they saw him in his beast form, and they saw him go back to human form, and he explains everything to them, okay? He says, this magic is ancient and terrible, but it is our advantage. Like me, each of you, his brothers, has a totem, and Diane will reveal it. Let us throw off the shackles of the English and the French. Let our loyalty be only to each other. We will be a tribe, a brotherhood, a war party. It's gonna get good. So now they're pledging themselves to each other to go and save his daughter, to be loyal to no other man, no other government. We get a little epilogue about his daughter Sarah and her captivity, and they're bringing her farther north, and an attempt to make her more submissive because she's been fighting them. They actually tattoo her face so that everybody knows she is a slave, and then they put her on water, no food. So she gets water, no food, and they've tattooed like her chin right here. Poor kid. So our next issue is called Unleashed, and it's gonna be exciting. I'm so excited. So excited. So good. War Party. Go get it. It's out now. And I just found out today, because I wasn't paying attention, when I bought my next set of independent comics, what were they? Let me look at Charlie's London. It doesn't get here until like 2023. Next year. So, oops. So, next Wednesday, I have nothing to share independent comic-wise. And probably not until August until I get Ripa's comic book, which I'm very excited to show. So, this is what we have. I have no more independent comics until Ripa's. I'll find more. It'll be fine. Want to see this coming on Sunday? Yeah, you do. Ugh, my lighting is so bad, it's driving me crazy. Let me see. No, it's just like, I need to get it together. Oh, no. I'm just gonna leave it. Do you all remember when I showed you my comic book haul from the Fan Expo? I'm gonna start this. I'm so excited. Spider-Woman Stan Lee presents Spider-Woman all in full color. So there's a bunch of issues in here. It's in pretty good shape. The writing is microscopically tiny. Like, it's so tiny. Look at that. Microscopically tiny. Anyway. It's good stuff, though. Just gotta, like, read it with my glasses and, like, up against my nose like a little lady. So Archie Goodwin is the writer. Sal Buscema. I cannot read out loud. Jim Mooney are illustrators. And yes, presented by Stan Lee. It's good stuff. Enjoying that. Guess I'm a spoiled brat. And I have not opened this package. Here it is. What? Kull the Conqueror. King Kull. He was before Conan. In Conan's world, he came before Conan. And I have the Marvel comic. I'm also reading the novel, Kull. So this will actually be super, super interesting for me to compare. I mean, obviously, there's more to the book than the comic, but you know. It's an excellent, excellent condition. I'm very happy. This is issue 1. And then we have, I cannot believe it. I have not yet, oh, this is really wrapped up. It's in rough shape, but I have not yet read Superman. So I'm going to read a giant Superman annual. Has a bunch of stories in it. We have the dog. The tape is covering his name. So some of you know, it looks like the last part of this dog's name is YPTO. And they're making the animated movie, right? Of the dog and Superman, Super Pets or something. And I think that's based off of, well, obviously Superman and this. So I'm very, very, very interested to read it. Although I don't think the movie will be anything good, personally, but whatever. So that's going to be very exciting to read. Of course, Superman Annual. And I haven't read any Superman yet. How could I? And then we have, of course, Berserker. And the cover is amazing. And no fingerprints. But I just realized when I went to get my next Berserker comic, because I bought all 8 in a row. Mm-hmm. The last 3, 6, well, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the last 4 are this type of cover that shows fingerprints and drives me bonkers. But it's a really pretty cover. Can you see that? Ooh, fancy, fancy. All I want to do is read comic books. That's all I want to do. It's going to be amazing. Absolutely amazing. And that is what I have coming up on Sunday. I'm very excited to share. I need to stop hitting my mic. Yeah. And I'm very sorry the next Wednesday I will not have another independent comic unless I randomly last minute find something. Probably not. Probably not. Alrighty, well, I will see you all. Oh, don't forget. On Friday, Blast from the Past Reviews, the channel that I am co-hosting, Blast from the Past movie reviews with FreezePeachGaming. I am going to put the link in the description below. Come join us Friday night after Friday Night Tights. Don't worry. The time will be, double check, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're hoping Friday Night Tights is done by then, but, you know, sometimes they go on forever. That's okay. But I will be 7:30 Central Standard Time. FreezePeachGaming and I will be reviewing The Princess Bride. And we're kind of going to get into it more and analytically. We're going to give a lot of some backstory, history, trivia. We're kind of going to put a little bit more research in it instead of just like a general overview review of the movie. We're going to try and go a little bit more in depth as much as we can. So yeah, please come and join us, 7:30 Central Time. Blast from the Past movie reviews, link below, and I will see you all later.